Welcome to the Fairway Fortunes channel, where golf meets wealth. They say golf is a game of patience, but Rory McIlroy just made a move that has the sports world in a frenzy. Word is, the five-time major champion quietly dropped a staggering $45 million on a private island in the Bahamas. Not for retirement, not for a luxury resort, but allegedly just to practice. No announcement, no press release, just whispers among locals about massive shipments of turf grass arriving under the cover of night, and a stretch of coral reef suddenly roped off from the public. Now environmental groups are furious, rumors about LIV Golf are swirling, and McIlroy's team is saying almost nothing at all. But the more people dig, the stranger it gets, and what's happening on that island could change the future of golf more than any tournament ever could. For years, the small cluster of cays sat quietly in the turquoise waters of the Exumas, known only to local fishermen and the occasional passing yacht. But late last year, one of them went off the market without a single listing ever appearing online. Insiders claim the buyer used an offshore trust, with the sale recorded under a vague corporate name that raised no red flags, until word started spreading about who really signed the checks. According to locals, the once sleepy island has been anything but quiet lately. Workers have been spotted unloading rolls of pristine turf grass from unmarked barges. High-end golf carts and custom-built mowers have reportedly been shipped in. And perhaps most suspicious of all, a temporary helipad has been carved out near the shoreline, perfect for quick arrivals and even quicker getaways. At first, no one connected the dots, but then a single blurry aerial photo appeared on social media, showing what looked like a fairway stretching across the center of the island. Within hours, golf fans were convinced this wasn't just someone's vacation property, it was Rory McIlroy's private practice paradise. But that was just the start, because what he allegedly built next would ignite a firestorm. It started as a rumor, a single line in a golf forum claiming Rory had moved half the shoreline to create the ultimate practice hole. But soon, photos began circulating of a jaw-dropping par 3 that seemed to hover over the water, with a floating green anchored just beyond the reef. According to environmental advocates in the Bahamas, that reef wasn't just decorative. It was home to vibrant coral and marine life that had been there for centuries. They claim heavy machinery was brought in to flatten part of it, making way for the man-made structure. One group even accused McIlroy of destroying a natural wonder for a vanity project. The backlash online was instant. Hashtags like #SaveTheReef started trending, with activists calling for a full investigation. But golf purists were split. Some argued it was a reckless move for the sake of luxury. Others defended it as the ultimate example of a player taking his craft seriously, building the perfect shot-making environment, no matter the cost. And as the debate raged, whispers began to surface about what Rory was really doing out there during the off-season, and why he didn't want anyone watching. If the par 3 stirred controversy, Rory's alleged training setup took things to an entirely different level. According to sources close to the project, the island has been outfitted with technology that wouldn't look out of place in a NASA lab. Floodlights line parts of the coastline, allowing McIlroy to practice long after sunset. There are rumors of motion tracking cameras hidden in the palm trees, recording every swing from multiple angles. Some claim he's even had underwater cameras installed along the shoreline to study ball impact and spin when shots miss the green. It doesn't stop there. Insiders allege he's been flying in top PGA instructors, sports psychologists, and even wind consultants to simulate tournament conditions. One dock worker swears he saw crates labeled wind simulation towers being unloaded from a private ferry. Towers that can mimic gusts at Augusta or the swirling breezes at the Open. If true, it means McIlroy isn't just practicing. He's building the ultimate distraction-free training ground. But in golf, where every move is under a microscope, that kind of secrecy can quickly attract the wrong kind of attention. And it didn't take long before one of the sport's most controversial organizations came knocking. It was only a matter of time before the whispers reached the ears of LIV Golf, the upstart league that spent the past few years throwing jaw-dropping sums of money at the sport's biggest names. And according to insiders, Rory's Island instantly became more than just a curiosity. It became a target. The rumor? LIV Golf allegedly floated a recruitment package unlike anything the sport has ever seen. A reported $300 million offer that didn't just include cash. They wanted naming rights to the island, branding it as the ultimate LIV training facility. Imagine the headlines. Rory McIlroy, once the PGA's fiercest defender, switching sides and turning his secret sanctuary into a LIV-branded showpiece. There are even claims that LIV executives have quietly visited marinas near the Exumas, meeting with local contractors to gauge the scope of the project. Some in the golf world believe this isn't about signing Rory at all. It's about winning a symbolic war, taking the one place McIlroy built for himself and making it theirs. Of course, Rory's never been shy about criticizing LIV Golf, but money and power have a way of rewriting the rules. And the silence from his camp was only adding fuel to the speculation. And then came the official non-response that had everyone talking. When the first reporters reached out to Rory's camp, expecting either a denial or a fiery rebuttal, what they got instead was nothing. Weeks passed without a single public comment. Then, out of nowhere, his management released a short, carefully worded statement. Rory values his privacy and remains committed to focusing on his game and family. That was it. No confirmation, no denial, not even a hint about the island's existence. And in the world of high-profile sports, that kind of vague response often says more than a full-blown press conference ever could. The environmental groups saw it as an admission. LIV Golf's supporters saw it as a crack in the armor. And the PGA faithful? They didn't know what to think anymore. Meanwhile, whispers of legal action began circulating, with environmental agencies hinting at possible violations of marine protection laws. Golf journalists started openly debating whether McIlroy was in the middle of a career masterstroke.
Less about how people respond today, and it's all about how people respond in 10 years. And when they see the impact that we're having on this game together, there'll be a lot of smiles on people's faces, and there'll be a lot more people playing this game all over the world. And if you're a young player that wants to get to the highest level of the game today, you'll be more inspired than you've ever been before.
Or walking straight into a PR disaster. But outside the headlines, the people feeling it most weren't on tour. They were the ones living in the Bahamas. For generations, the waters around the Exumas have been open to locals, a place where fishermen, divers, and tour guides made their living. But since McIlroy's alleged purchase, that way of life has started to change. Several fishermen claim they've been warned to steer clear of the waters near the island, with private property markers now floating where public buoys used to be. Tour operators say their routes have been quietly rerouted, cutting off some of the most scenic snorkel spots. One local even claimed that drones used for sightseeing were suddenly being jammed when they got too close. Whether that's true or not, it's only added to the feeling that this isn't just a private purchase, it's a takeover. The pushback has been swift. A petition titled "Give the Island Back to the People" has been gaining thousands of signatures online, calling on the Bahamian government to review the sale. Tourism boards worry that if one celebrity golfer can wall off a reef, others might follow, turning public waters into exclusive playgrounds. And through it all, McIlroy has remained silent, leaving fans, critics, and locals to wonder if he's building a personal golf utopia or burning bridges he'll never be able to rebuild. But behind the outrage, some insiders believe this island isn't just about privacy. It's about reshaping the next chapter of his career. If the rumors are true, this isn't just about building a practice spot, it's about control. Away from the PGA's rules, away from the media glare, McIlroy could be shaping his game in total secrecy, preparing for a run that catches everyone off guard. An island like this gives him the ability to experiment without the eyes of competitors studying every swing. Some insiders see it as a genius move, the kind of calculated isolation that could give him an edge no one else has. But others warn it could backfire. Sponsors tied to sustainability campaigns might see the environmental backlash as a deal breaker. The PGA might view the LIV rumors as a betrayal, even if he never signs a contract. And if public sentiment keeps sliding, McIlroy could find himself in the awkward position of being the face of a sport that no longer sees him as its golden boy. Then there's the wildest theory of them all, that the island is being prepared to host a secret, invitation-only tournament for golf's elite. No TV crews, no fans, just the best in the world playing in total privacy. Whether that's fantasy or a calculated power move, one thing is clear. This island is now part of McIlroy's story, whether he admits it or not. And that story might just be getting started. So what exactly is Rory McIlroy's $45 million private island? A bold investment in his game? A luxury hideaway gone too far? Or the first chess move in a much bigger play for golf's future? Right now, no one outside his inner circle knows for sure. What we do know is that the whispers aren't dying down. The environmental protests are getting louder, the LIV Golf speculation refuses to fade, and the mystery surrounding what's really happening behind those closed waters is only fueling curiosity. For McIlroy, this could be the ultimate training edge, the kind of secret weapon that cements his legacy for decades. Or it could be the moment his carefully crafted image starts to crack under the weight of secrecy, money, and controversy. One thing's certain, whether you see it as genius or hubris, this island isn't just a piece of real estate anymore, it's a symbol. And the next move Rory makes could decide whether it becomes a triumph or a cautionary tale.